Up.
Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show. Time now for some quick hits.
You gotta move quickly.
There's no time. Move fast there, come on! And here we go on a Wednesday installment of America's favorite sports talk radio segment. It is time for quick hits right here on the Jake Asman Show. And we have a lot to talk about. But Ron, it's your first quick hit since July 21st. Are you nervous? How do you feel?
Same as always.
Okay.
Refreshed. Rocky Mountain refreshed.
And ready to go.
Yep.
Okay. Well, here we go. Ron, yesterday, it was Zach Wilson's birthday. It was also Tom Brady's birthday. So Tom Brady turned 44. Zach Wilson turned 22. And look, think about this. Tom Brady's entering his 22nd season in the NFL. Zach Wilson's entering his 22nd year of life, to put it in perspective. So yesterday at Jets training camp, Zach Wilson was asked about sharing a birthday with Tom Brady.
What is it like to share a birthday with Tom Brady?
I mean, it's pretty dang cool. I'd say one of the craziest parts is I think I was one in his first year in the NFL. So pretty crazy to think about.
You plan on telling him that if you see him?
I'll have to say something to him.
7 Super Bowls and 581 touchdowns combined between Zach Wilson and Tom Brady. It's a lot of Super Bowls, Ron.
Yeah. Are you hoping there's a double that number approach to it that you could say 22 years from now?
22 years from now, I'd like to see Zach Wilson have 1 Super Bowl with the Jets. If he gets 7, I'd take that as well.
You'll take it?
I'll take it. I'd say it's been a pretty good career if that happens.
Yeah. Might make the Hall of Fame.
Hey, he might go in first ballot.
Yeah.
Right. It also was a very special birthday yesterday as well. And I don't know why this didn't get more buzz on social media. Martha Stewart turned 80 years old yesterday.
What's weird when you throw out numbers like that is you're starting to see a lot of that of like the people we kind of grew up watching. And then you see their age and you're like, that's impossible. But then you realize, well, not really. And
Martha Stewart.
That's what's getting stranger and stranger for me.
80 years old. So Martha, Zach Wilson, and Tom Brady all share the same birthday.
3 goats.
3 goats. And let me tell you, I had Martha Stewart on the radio show, back in
the day.
This was in Miami, Super Bowl 54, Chiefs and the Niners. Myself and at the time, my radio partner, Cody Stutes, we had Martha Stewart on the show, and she could not have been nicer. We talked about her relationship with Snoop Dogg.
Of course.
We talked about some of her cooking tactics. Cody's mom was a huge Martha Stewart fan, reads all her cookbooks, and it was a great interview. So happy birthday to my friend, Martha Stewart.
Well, I'm going to keep up with the birthday train because today is Tony D's birthday.
I was going there next. Happy birthday to our esteemed morning show host.
Yes.
The great Tony Arthur Desiri.
Who happens to share a birthday. He named off some names of people he shares a birthday with.
Okay.
One of them is Jeff Gordon.
NASCAR?
You might have heard of him.
NASCAR driver.
Yep. And another one that he just casually mentioned was Barack Obama.
Wow.
So we got 3 goats there too, I guess, right?
I believe Obama turned 60 today.
There it is.
How old is Tony Desiri? Do you know?
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention it on air.
It's like a woman's age or a woman's weight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he shares a very, I think, almost a eerily similar birthday to Jeff Gordon, who turned 50 today, if I can say it that way.
So Tony D is either 49 or 51 or 50.
Or 50.
We got that nice range there. So there you go. Happy birthday to Tony. Happy belated yesterday to Tom Brady, Martha Stewart, and the GOAT, Zach Wilson.
That's right.
All right, let's talk some baseball now, Ron. It was set up to be a wild night in Los Angeles. The Astros returned to L.A. for the first time since the cheating scandal became public, for the first time with fans in the stands. We'll get to the actual game in a moment, but to give you a taste, if you missed it, you didn't stay up late last night to watch it, here's a little taste of what it sounded when Carlos Correa came up to bat for the first time in the first inning last night.
Only 2 Astros as far as position players in the lineup tonight who were part of the 2017 team. Altuve, who heard it to lead off the game, and now Correa. Correa hitting .321 over his last 7.
Cheater, cheater, cheater. There were so many, inflatable trash cans that were thrown out there on the field. It does, here's the thing. You heard Joe Davis say it there in Sportsnet LA. There's only 2 starters in the lineup that were on the 17 team. Bregman would be there, but he's hurt. So you'd have 3. I guess Yuli Gurriel, I guess he didn't start last night, but he was on that team as well.
Yeah.
So he's still there. But yeah, I mean, look, you knew the crowd in LA was going to be nuts. It was nuts when there were only 10,000 fans allowed in the Bronx earlier in the year when the Yankees played the Astros at home. So this
or Dodger fans showed up here to come to Minute Maid.
Right. So it's a 2-game series. They split in Houston. Astros won the first game last night 3-0. They got a great game from Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. And tonight, Ron, your guy, Max Scherzer, makes his Dodger debut against the team he beat in the World Series, the Astros.
On my son's baseball team, one of his coaches is a huge Dodgers fan as well. Grew up in the LA area. And when that came down, he and I almost wanted to cry when we saw that.
And Trey Turner.
That's just a little what? That's the candle on top of the icing. That is the cake of what the Dodgers have. Top to bottom, that's probably the most dangerous starting rotation I think I've ever seen on any team, ever.
Very strange.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Braves in the 90s when they had their 3-headed monster of Maddox, Glavine, and Schmaltz.
It's crazy. I mean, they're so good. They replaced Trevor Bauer and they get Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Started the All-Star game this year. Come on. Crazy. So we'll see how he does. It should be fun to see that atmosphere for Scherzer in his first game. He gets to go up against the team that he went up against in the World Series, right? So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. You got Jake Odorizzi starting for the Astros tonight.
I unfortunately missed last night's game because I was too busy driving through Texas because it's so, big.
Is it?
Texas? God. It's impossible to get through Texas.
My favorite part about explaining to people how big Texas is, by the way, is when you go to Las Vegas, halfway to Vegas is El Paso. So halfway on your 3-hour flight you're still in Texas. You're in El Paso.
Yeah. Try driving through it. It just keeps going and going and going. And I was trying to explain to my kids, if you lived on the East Coast, the amount of time we've driven, we probably would have gone through 20 states.
How long did it take you to drive through Texas?
It's a good 9-hour drive if we didn't have to make the stops that we have to make with kids.
So here's your East Coast equivalent, because I've done that drive before. Yeah. If you go from Newark and drive 9 hours south, you'll be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
There it is.
Take you about 9 or 10 hours to get there.
And you've gone through a whole bunch of states, and you can check them off your list.
Yep.
As opposed to Texas, you're still in the same damn state.
Crazy. It's a big state. Hulk Smash 20 writes in, "Yo, Jake, love the show. Keep up the good work, bro." Usually we get a lot of hate.
Yeah, I think you need to do it with the Hulk voice, though.
Hulk Smash. I like to acknowledge the nice folks instead of the haters.
Yeah, well, why?
The haters, which there are many.
Why would you acknowledge the haters?
Oh, we acknowledge them.
Let haters hate.
We acknowledge them. All right, let's continue the baseball talk here, Ron. Bryce Harper.
Soon to be a Dodger?
Well, maybe. I don't rule that one out. Well, Bryce Harper is still a Philly. Phillies are playing good baseball right now, and the Mets aren't. So we'll get to that in just a second. But last night, Phillies and Bryce Harper's old team, they duked it off. And, well, Bryce Harper's bat continues to be on fire.
1-2. That ball's hit out toward left center field. It's hit well. Stevenson going back. Forget about it. It is gone. A long home run for Bryce Harper. He goes the opposite way against his former team. It's the 5th one this year against the Nationals. It's a 5-2 game, and he's kind of taking a curly routes around the bases.
Harper goes deep. You hear the boos in the background. The Nats fans booing their former franchise guy. Phillies did win the game 5-4. The call there at NBC Sports Philadelphia. Very quietly, Bryce Harper's having a really good season. He's hitting .301. He has 17 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 86 games played. He's having a really good year. Bryce Harper.
I guess it's not even jokes. I mean, there was a lot of real talk about the Phillies just underachieving once again. They're starting to look promising. And like you said, I mean, with the Mets being who the Mets are and just not being able to get anything together, Phillies could sneak up there. Kind of reminds me of the NFC East of the NFL last year.
Sneak up there. I think they're there. So the Phillies have won 3 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. And while they're winning games, the Mets have lost 3 in a row, right? So they made up 3 games in the standings. The Mets lead in the National League East is 1.5 right now. And then, forget the Phillies for a moment here, Ron. The Atlanta Braves are just 2.5 games out of first place.
And I think they're more dangerous. They're more the team to keep an eye on.
And they're 53 and 54.
Tell me the NL East is not the NFC East.
It's very true. It's played out that way. I mean, the National League East is terrible. And the thing with that division, just like the NFC East, whoever wins the division is the only team going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
There is no wild card spot available when you have the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Padres all out west beating each other up.
Nah, and truthfully, you're probably lasting one series, but at least you made it.
At least you made it is right. It's amazing the Giants are still in first place with a 3.5 game lead. They just don't go away.
No, yeah. It's so annoying.
I mentioned the Mets have been struggling. They lose to the Marlins last night, 5-4. And look, right now, they're not hitting. They still don't have Lindor. Conforto's been terrible. And look, we know how great Jacob deGrom has been. Well, Jacob deGrom hasn't pitched now in almost a month. And this was deGrom before the game yesterday, giving an update on the latest with his injury.
Of course, you never want to feel anything in your elbow. Concerning. I don't like it. Right. I want to be pitching. That's one of the most frustrating things. I feel like I was having the best year of my career, and then these little bumps and setbacks, and then now this. So it's definitely frustrating, a little bit concerning, but how it feels this past week, I think is a plus. Haven't thrown, but moving it around is fine. So we'll see what it says. Look at it.
So you really can't tell what the heck deGrom is saying there because the audio is, I don't know. Did they do that interview with him in a wind tunnel?
Yeah.
But he's frustrated that his career season's getting derailed by an elbow injury. deGrom was asked, does he expect to pitch again this year? He said yes. But look, this has been a guy that as good as he's been this year, he's dealt with some of these nagging injuries that have caused him to miss some starts. This has been the most drastic one so far.
Truthfully, it's a Cy Young award-winning season yet again for him, but I don't know if we can consider it. And that's the issue.
He hasn't pitched enough to consider it.
Yeah.
I had this argument with someone when I was on vacation. deGrom, as great as he is, and he's the best pitcher in the game, he's not going to be able to make enough starts where you could give him the Cy Young.
Yeah.
He's just not.
That's a shame how it is. And even, record books also kind of get thrown out of the way because there's not going to be enough starts because, you got to have a minimum of this amount of starts. He's going to finish with the lowest ERA, I think, in human history. But it's just not going to count.
It is not going to count.
And we would love to see him do another 10-game win season and win a Cy Young award. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, look, deGrom. You want to see this guy pitch every 5 days. He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, baseball throws out and says, "Hey, you need to, we're gonna curb all you guys, the sticky substance, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." And some pitchers kind of faltered a little bit. He didn't miss a beat, and that's what's a shame.
So, you go to ESPN.com and pull up team leaders for the Mets. The ERA leader for the Mets is Marcus Stroman, 2.80. deGrom's ERA is 1.08. But because Stroman has pitched 122 innings and deGrom has only pitched 92 innings this year, by rule, Stroman's your team ERA leader because he's appeared in the most games. He's pitched the most innings.
It's dumb.
It's just how it goes. So there you go. That wraps it up for Quick Hits here on a Wednesday morning. Up next, we wrap up our show. Lots still to talk about, though. Stay with us here on Sports Map Radio. Jake Asman with you. We're coming right back.
The Jake Asman